Okay, so today we're going to talk about the judicial branch, kind of some general features of how it works. And so we're going to look into it and specifically look at the federal government and talking about judicial review, which is a really important function of the federal judiciary. So firstly, we'll take a look at the federal court system. And so, of course, at the very top of the federal court system is the U.S. Supreme Court. They call it the highest court in the land. It's the only court that's actually in the Constitution explicitly under Article 3 of the Constitution. The judges of the Supreme Court, like all other federal court judges, are actually appointed by the president, but then they have to be confirmed. They have to be confirmed by the Senate. So the Senate actually interviews those folks that have been appointed, and they can decide whether or not they're going to approve them or not. It's important because it's a lifetime appointment. Once they're appointed, they can serve until they so choose, as long as they live, and also exhibit what's called good behavior. They're not doing anything fraudulent. All right, what is the jurisdiction? A way of what is jurisdiction anyway? It's like, what does the court have authority over? That authority is called jurisdiction. So the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court, has both original and appellate jurisdiction. So original means it can try a case right in its court from the very beginning, and it means it can hear cases for the first time. And then there's appellate jurisdiction, and that means appeals. Appeals means, the lower court send it up to the Supreme Court for review. Original jurisdiction, as I mentioned, is limited, and it just involves cases between two states or those involving high-ranking public officials. For example, an impeachment trial, the Supreme Court oversees that. The Chief Justice does that. But most of the cases that are heard by the U.S. Supreme Court are appellate or appeals cases. What's the federal judicial structure? So not only you have the Supreme Court in the federal government, but there are lower courts referred to as under the Judiciary Act of 1789. It established the structure over lower federal courts. So the second tier of the federal court system is the 12 regional courts of appeal. You can see that right here. And what they do is, and it's a panel of three judges who hear appeals from the lower courts. So that could be various state courts that send them up to the U.S. Courts of Appeal. And then following that, if so necessary, they will send their cases up to the U.S. Supreme Court. So again, that's the regional courts of appeal. That's the second tier. Then there are the U.S. district courts. That's the third tier, which are spread throughout the nation. And there are 94 district courts in total. But then you have these districts. Like, for example, you can see District 9 is composed of Hawaii and Alaska and Arizona, California, Nevada, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and Montana. This is our district of California, District 9. So the district courts have only what's called that original jurisdiction, meaning the cases start there, and they handle the cases that involve federal law. And these cases are heard not only by a judge, but a jury as well. So let's talk a little bit about how a case gets appealed. So there's a flow chart here. You can see the federal route or the state route of appellate or appeals all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. So if a person violates a federal law, their trial will take place in a U.S. district court right here. And, if the case is not met satisfactorily, there's a decision that the person accused of the crime feels as though it wasn't conducted properly, they can actually appeal their case to the next federal appeals court, which are, again, the regional courts of appeal, consisting of three judges. And then finally, if there is a non-satisfaction over those cases, and there's an allegation that the case wasn't conducted correctly, it will then be appealed to the final appellate court, which is, again, the U.S. Supreme Court. What is judicial review? This is an extremely important a concept that is exclusive to the federal court system, and it's a power of the court. So, what is judicial review? It acts to grant the court the power to determine the constitutionality of laws. Okay, so the federal courts will look at laws and, a violation of the law, but they look at it in terms of is it constitutional or not? And they will, check the federal laws and et cetera. And if someone acts against something, and it's determined to be constitutional, of course, then they have the ability to hear the case. Um, Again, a judicial review is mentioned in a very important paper called Federalist 78. Alexander Hamilton talks about it, and he argues that an independent judiciary is capable of interpreting the Constitution and viewing the laws for compliance. So initially in the Constitution, there's no mention of judicial review, and it really took an important court case to establish the authority of the federal courts to actually rule on cases based on their their constitutionality, I should say. And that case was called Marbury versus Madison, which occurred in 1803. And, it's kind of a complicated story about judicial appointments, appointments of federal officials from an outgoing president. And the new president didn't want to see fit to have those appointments put in place because it was an opposing party. And basically, it made its way to the U.S. Supreme Court to adjudicate whether these appointments were, in fact, correct or not. And it was at this point that John Marshall, the Chief Justice, looked at it and said, yes, we have the authority to oversee this case, and we can determine based on constitutional principles whether it was constitutional for the outgoing president to appoint these officials for the next administration. And so, really, what the case was about was the court asserting itself and saying, we have authority to strike down laws that we see are unconstitutional. So, really, from that point forward, the judicial branch became co-equal with the legislative and executive branches. And again, it could serve as a very powerful check on both of them. So a potent check on the other branches of government through judicial review. So they could look at acts of the president as being unconstitutional, the Supreme Court could, and they could look at Congress. If Congress drafts a law that doesn't meet the Constitution, Supreme Court can actually strike that down. Okay, so the federal court system again comprises the Supreme Court, the regional courts of appeals, and the U.S. district courts. The Supreme Court is the final arbiter on constitutional matters, and it will exercise judicial review to make sure that all laws align with the Constitution. So again, judicial review grants the court the power to check the actions of the other branches, which makes it a vital component of the system of checks and balances in the United States.